Hey guys, Eric here out at the Bethlehem Golf Club. In today's video, we're going to talk about the cheapest golf lesson you will ever receive in your life, the #1 fundamental to playing good golf. Before we dive into that, quick word from today's video sponsor. Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about the hanger training aid. Now, I don't know if you've seen this or used this before, but it is absolutely my new favorite training aid. This hanger here creates and controls what I think is the most important part of the swing, which is the wrist angle. It snaps right on. It takes me probably 30 seconds to put on. I can put it right in my golf bag, and best of all, the main trait of a training aid that's really good is you can hit balls with it. You can actually hit balls with it. So I love this hanger training aids. I've been using it probably for the past 6 to 7 weeks in my own game. You may have seen me in videos talk about, hey, I'm really trying to get my left wrist flat at the top. Look at when I do that well, how that sits on my forearm. Now watch when I cut my wrist, how that comes off. Immediate feedback for where my wrist angle's at. I like to use this even during my takeaway. When I set it up here, I like to keep it between my arms during my takeaway, press it against my left wrist for flat left wrist at the top, press it more against. Look at when I press it against it, that shallows my shaft, that keeps my club face square to close, helps me hit from inside. So I absolutely love this. I firmly believe that this is good for every single golfer. There's no one that can have too flat of a left wrist. One of the few things that all good ball strikers have, we're trying to have. Flat left wrist, right? Super easy to use, incredible immediate feedback. With the coupon code GogornoGolf.com, it's only $59, and I can actually hit balls with it and get instant feedback. Yes, I don't know if you can hear that, but that's about as compressed as I can hit a ball, and that's the main point of this hanger. Iron compression. You're gonna absolutely love it. We'll put all the details down in the description down below. All right, guys, so with me for another video, Mr. Dennis Sales. Dennis, thank you for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate that. So Dennis, if you haven't seen our videos before, we have a couple of videos with Dennis and I coach together online at CogornoGolf.com. Dennis is, I think, one of the best golf coaches in the world. That's why we coach together. Also great for in-person coaching. Dennis is down in Argyle, Texas, somewhere between Dallas and Fort Worth-ish, he tells me, in that general vicinity of Texas.
Yes.
Dennis has a gear system. He's got a great indoor training facility. If you're in that area, want to see Dennis for lessons, we'll put his info in the description down below. Would highly, highly recommend it. One of the pieces and things that I learned from Dennis with his gears, he's one of the guys that I'll ask questions on a lot about specifics. One of the topics we're discussing is the #1 fundamental to playing good golf, right? Or just playing golf in general.
Yes.
And so why don't we start off with what is the #1 fundamental? Number 2, we'll do what the main drill is, the cheapest lesson.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is kind of what is involved with controlling that.
Yeah.
So what is the main #1 fundamental?
Controlling low point, hitting it solid. Ball first, ground second.
So when I'm hitting an iron shot here,
Yep.
I got a 7-iron, and obviously I want to hit the ball solid out towards that green out there.
Yeah.
For me to be able to do that, regardless of how, I need to be able to get that club head, you're saying, to strike the golf ball first.
Yep.
And then the ground second.
Yes. Got to control the leading edge.
Got to control the leading edge, no low point. Low point's got to be in front of the golf ball.
Yes.
Now, in order to do that, there's some things that are going to control that, but there's a really easy, simple drill here that I saw that you do that I really love that you guys can do. And what I have here is a penny. I was railing quarters before Dennis yelled at me, so we'll use a penny here for this. And so the way we set this drill up to be able to practice low point, something you can do to get feedback to build the skill of hitting ball first, ground second, is you were having the penny in front of the ball.
Yes.
Right, so if I take a penny, and am I right in doing like a club?
About a club.
So? Yeah. Okay. So I got my 7-iron, and I'm going to put my club right in front of the ball, and I'm going to put a penny right at the end of the club.
Perfect.
Right, so a couple inches in front.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to just hit one first before we dig into the details, if that's okay.
Yeah.
What we're saying is for me to be able to build that #1 fundamental, build in solid contact, one should be able to strike the ball, and I'm actually going to hit the penny.
And you have options of being able to do that as well. That's what I don't think most people understand.
Okay. But for me to start with, I want to hit the penny.
You got to get to the penny.
Got to get to the penny.
Got to get to the penny.
Regardless of how, I'm just trying this drill.
You have options that will be a little bit more effective than others. But yes, absolutely.
So before we dig into that stuff, I'm going to hit, and I should be able to take out the penny.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this. 7-iron, just normal swing, ball first, ground second, hit the penny. Again, we need to get a friggin' shot tracer in there.
All right.
That nice little draw. So I took the penny out, right? You are one penny
One penny less. Better than
poorer,
quarters, right?
that's a word. and that thing's gone. So now I built in the skill to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But there was a point in time for many years where maybe I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I didn't hit the ball as solid,
Yeah.
and I would struggle with that.
Yeah.
And so can we put another one in there?
There you go.
As we're working on this,
Yes.
and if we didn't even tell someone any other info, but we just had them do that and they just practiced that, they might engineer ways to do it. In
Yes.
fact, if they got good at it, they would.
Yeah.
Right?
To some efficiency level, absolutely.
Some way to do it.
Yeah.
So what we're saying, step one is like, regardless of how, learn how to get good at this.
Yeah.
Right?
And it'll control a lot of the other pieces, or help you with a lot of the other pieces. Help you enjoy the game, that's for certain.
Fundamental number one.
Yeah.
Right? Now, let's say for various reasons someone tries this and they're not able to do this, right? Because if you don't hit the ball solid, you don't know how far the ball's going to go.
Yep.
I can't control the direction.
Nope.
I don't know what club to use.
Exactly.
It's a mess, right?
Yeah.
I've been there many a time.
Oh, yeah. We all have.
But when I can control it, I can hit it solid. I can control the distance. I can start to control the direction. I can build pieces in. What are the main things, and I'm looking for two answers here, like we're playing a game show thing,
Okay.
that would control or help my ability to hit ball first, ground second, and take that penny out?
Hub location and pressure.
Hub location and pressure. Hub location, Dennis, I'm sitting home watching like, hub, what does that mean, hub location? What does that mean, hub location?
So hub location, we're looking at gears. It's where we're measuring the center of the pelvis and then the upper rib cage.
Kind of here-ish?
A little bit higher up.
Yeah, here.
We can have another measurement in the rib cage, but we're going to talk about the top of the
So if we
sternum
like,
bone.
and they'll see this on the gears, but
Yeah.
if we kind of had like a dot,
Yeah.
belt buckle, and then
Belt
like
buckle.
bottom neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've even done it sometimes with like ties with people,
A tie, okay,
right?
perfect.
Just let it dangle. Where is it?
Where is that? So
Yeah.
kind of right here-ish.
Yes.
This location.
Yeah.
So hub location, we said the hubs are right there.
Yep.
So location, right, natural education means kind of where that is.
Yeah, we can move it back and forth.
So how does that play a role into my ability to hit ball first, ground second?
Well, the hub location will start to give you an opportunity to be able to control the right elbow and the right wrist,
Okay.
right? So if we go ahead and we take a backswing and we shift these hubs way to the right, right? You'd have to retime yourself to come all the way back to hit it, right? You could do it. There's some players in gears that do move a little bit, right? But it does control how this is moved. So if I go and I get you to move this guy a little bit more forward, now as you start to kind of come down and forward, you can start to see it. It does help you kind of keep this guy a little bit more controlled because you've pushed yourself forward, you've got a little bit more forward bend. That would help control the elbow and the wrist in terms of how quickly it's going to extend.
Which would ultimately control my low point. Now, one of the things I saw on the gears that I really loved is if we look at hub location, and a little bit regardless of the how, we would see that these 2 points, so the belt buckle and this bottom neck part,
Yeah.
if I take my setup position and we say the ball is somewhere underneath my, let's say left eye, left ear-ish location, when I make my downswing, we see elite ball strikers get both of those hubs slightly forward of the
Slightly
ball,
forward on top of the ball.
on top of it,
Yeah,
on top of
that'd
it,
be
slightly
okay.
forward, early.
Earlier.
Early.
They're shifting it a lot earlier than most golfers.
So if we kind of freeze frame someone and you think about, hey, where's, oh, let's just say shirt button, bottom neck this.
Yeah, it's easy.
Where is that on the way down? I want to get that back to or just slightly forward of the ball early in transition. And I think to our point, if that's true, if that's where I want to go, there's ways that are easier and more difficult to get there.
Absolutely.
And so if I wanted to get more forward, right, we both don't care if someone takes their hubs and shifts them a mile this way. I don't care. So long as you can go back to here.
And have some consistency with the value.
Have some consistency. And we would both say that based on our experience, that's more difficult for most people.
Yeah.
Takes more practice generally, but can be done.
It can be done. I certainly wouldn't start a beginner there.
Yes.
I'd be shoving somebody as a beginner way more forward.
Start more forward.
And feeling like you're going to stay there throughout the swing.
So let's do that. Let's say I'm hitting, let's say I tested this, and I'm hitting 7 irons, and I go and I'm back here, or whatever, and that penny didn't go down the range, right? And I'm like, Dennis, I need help, dude. I got this golf tournament coming up. I can't hit a ball solid. Help me out. How would I start?
So the first thing that we would do is we'd go get into our setup. And you kind of think of like a teeter-totter, right? I don't know if I said it right?
A teeter-totter is good.
Okay, all right. I would push the teeter-totter all the way forward, Okay. I would almost feel like you're not going to step on the right, so there would be no teeter to the TOTTER. We're going to stay on that left foot.
Teeter to the TOTTER.
No teeter to the TOTTER, right?
So I'm like, I feel as though I'm 80, 90% my left?
That's fine.
Okay, got it.
And then you won't feel anything kind of move to the right foot.
So I'm like eliminating the rightward movement.
Yes.
To start, okay. So I'm starting left, like my belt buckle's kind of over my ankle, I'm
Yep.
forward. And now I'm gonna try and just hit a ball and then
Yes.
penny. Got
Making sure that you don't feel like you shift anything to the right.
Nothing to the right. No teeter to the TOTTER.
No teeter to the TOTTER.
Now very clearly I took that penny out.
Yeah.
I hit the ball solid.
Yeah.
If I'm starting and I don't hit it solid and I do that, I would be ecstatic. That should feel really solid.
Yeah.
Hit the ball solid contact.
That should have a way flatter flight versus maybe with somebody's kind of hanging back a little more who can't hit that tee. You'll see these high floaty shots.
Yeah, that'll be like compressed, lower than normal.
Yeah. It had a different sound to it and everything.
Can I have another penny there, sir? Thank you, the service around here. So about a club head.
Yep.
And so if I'm starting, so if I'm neutral, my hips are kind of right in the middle of my ankles.
Yes.
I feel like I'm 55, 45 probably.
Okay.
I'm moving that to 80 to 90
Yes,
with my hips
at the
forward,
beginning, yes.
just to start,
Yeah, absolutely.
until I can consistently do this.
Yeah.
Let me do this again. You got a couple backup pennies?
I
that
got a couple
sling
backup
these?
pennies.
Okay.
I got some dimes. We'll step it up a little.
And I'm doing no teeter to my TOTTER. I'm
No
not
teeter
putting
to the TOTTER.
no weight on my right during the backswing, just to start with.
For
Everyone
right now,
settle
yeah.
down. And the same sort of thing. So I hit that out. My low point moves forward, lower
Yeah.
than normal. And I'm like, okay, perfect, Dennis.
Yeah.
I love this. But like, man, I thought I was supposed to shift. Like, I need pressure. I need power. Like, come on, man. What do I do next?
Well, now, once you're able to kind of do this, so this would be kind of the starting point.
Yeah.
And then when we needed to feel like I needed to get a little bit more height and speed and distance, now I would start to kind of feel like I'm going to kind of give it a little teeter.
Little teeter to the TOTTER.
Little teeter to the TOTTER.
Okay. I hope Mary puts the text in these.
We would
Yeah.
start kind of giving you a little bit more teeter. Like I
little
said,
more
we've got
teeter.
stuff on gears, right? Where you'll see some people really shifting, others staying on top. But what we see, though, is the recentering piece
Yeah.
for those who shift the most.
Yep.
Now, I would never start a beginner level golfer there. But again, when you're talking about some of the best golfers in the world, they have some differences, some uniquenesses, but they also have some similarities. It's the similarities that we're trying to chase.
And what we're saying, to your point, is like, we're assuming this golfer is struggling with solid contact.
Yeah, it's solid
Right?
contact guy.
So if that person comes in beginner and they're shifting all over a lot and they're in it solid, great, like that's fine.
Yeah.
Different ball game.
I wouldn't chase that. I wouldn't chase that. Chase
Now,
something else.
Let's say I did a set of 10
Yeah,
or 1,000
whatever. Yeah.
and I got that good. Would I still set up this way and shift back, or would I neutralize that a little?
I would start leaving it there first,
Okay.
and then I'd start to add some teeter.
So I would say, I'm still going to set up this way.
I'm going to
step
add a
2.
little teeter, and then I'm going to start to add the TOTTER back a little sooner. Yeah, to
So
get back there.
Let's just put numbers to it, so just for the sake of doing it. 80, 20.
Fine.
Okay. And as I go back, I'm going to feel a little bit of pressure in my right foot. I don't feel like my upper hub is traveling.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then we're going to just a little, and then you got to get back to the TOTTER.
So maybe at the top I'm 60-40 instead of 80-20.
Yeah.
Just to throw something
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Making stuff up there. 80-20. I'm still centered, even though I shifted a little pressure on my foot. But
Yes.
now you're saying, all right, now I'm gonna get back to that
Yes.
80-20.
Yeah.
Okay. Putting words in your mouth. Okay, so I'm putting a little teeter to the TOTTER. And I would anticipate someone would get something like that to varying degrees. Very solid contact, still a little bit lower than normal.
Yeah.
Now getting towards my normal distance.
Yeah.
And in fact, someone who's more in the beginning phase of solid contact,
We'll hit it further.
they'll hit it farther because it's so much more solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much more solid. Can I have another penny, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Way better compression.
To tip you at the end of this, Dennis.
Nah.
Throw some of those pennies back your
Right,
way.
right.
And so I'm here, I'm doing this. My friends are like, hey, you're set up too far forward. What are you doing? But in the meantime, I'm hitting it solid. Right, I'm golden.
That's where I would start. Yeah, absolutely.
And then
I would say that you shouldn't listen to your friends.
don't listen to your friends or your grandpa.
Yeah.
And then I'm just slowly maybe like
Adding some teeter.
adding some teeter. And then I'm also maybe getting slowly more neutral in
could,
time. Yeah,
could,
don't
yeah.
have to.
You don't have to.
But I could be
And
even
again,
like,
it would be like, what would somebody be trying to accomplish? You're trying to play tour level golf, or you're just going out there trying to have a little bit more fun?
probably the second.
So if you're going to be the second, I would kind of shift or teeter a little bit more to the totter side,
And I
or
guess
the teeter-totter.
to answer my own question, the way you're saying is like, I guess you do it to the point of your performance.
Absolutely. Or what
So
you want.
like, hey, do I need to shift more, shift less? Or like, are you hitting it solid from there? If not, no.
And then, yeah, then how are you happy with how you're playing it? Are you happy with how far you're hitting it?
Okay.
And then we can start to add some of these other.
So if I'm starting to hit
customization.
it solid,
Yeah.
right, and I'm like, all right, I'm kind of getting it, I'm cool, but I'd love it to go a little higher and a little farther,
I want to get a little better.
then maybe
A little.
but I got to be able to get back.
You got to get back. That's
I
the
feel
key
like,
P is
I feel
getting
like
back.
Seinfeld and Costanza with this little back and forth thing going
Right?
on here.
But as long as
Let's
you
put
get
one
back,
more in
it would be
there, Dennis.
okay, right?
So long as I get those hubs back at or just forward of the ball early in the downswing, we're
Yeah.
golden.
So give me a bigger shift.
Okay.
Add way more teeter to the top.
You want a bigger shift, Dennis?
And then you got to get back all the way over there. See it?
Yep. And for me, when I do that, I would feel like I'd get a little more speed, a little more height, a little more distance. My contact's a little less consistent, but we're also
Trade-offs.
dealing, and this is also an advanced level.
Trade-offs.
Yeah.
You
10
have to
years
go
ago, I wasn't
practice a
doing
lot
that.
more. Yeah.
Trade-offs. Got to go practice more. So now I'm going to add a little more teeter, but I'm going to feel like I get my.
You have to go way harder into the
I
top.
got to go way harder. So I'm going to feel my shirt buttons and my belt buckle both getting at or just past the ball
Yeah.
early. This is going to be a Dennis Sales 200 yard 7-iron.
Let's see it. So it can be done.
Are you going to not say anything
That's
about that?
pretty good. And well, it looked like every
just
other
out
shot
here
today.
looking for
Except now
affirmation.
it's just higher,
Just getting nothing.
right?
Mary's over there giving me thumbs up. Dennis, can I have one more penny, please? You got another one in there?
You're going to
gotta
step it
finish.
up because you're so good. I'm going to give you a
expectation
dime.
level?
I'm going to give you a dime now. Okay?
So to have potentially to ramp it up, like you
I'm
said.
going to make it a little harder. I'm going to make sure it
All
goes
right,
down
let's see
there.
what I got there. I can add a little bit more off, but to the point where I get back to the penny. If I start doing that and struggle with my contact, I gotta find a middle ground.
You can find middle ground.
Okay.
And I would say you'd always kind of spectrum practice, right? I'm going to not have any teeter to the totter.
I also really like, if you feel more forward and stay a little bit more forward, that's not incorrect, A.
Yeah.
And B, if you hit it better and play better,
It's a
by
bubble.
definition, that's correct.
Exactly.
Okay, because you know how it is. I mean, you know the golf community as well as I do. And I don't want to go on a tangent on this.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like, it's okay to have your weight more forward. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
okay.
There's no issues with that.
It's okay.
As long as it allows you to play better versus constantly hitting shots fat, not having any compression, hitting these floaty golf balls that go out there.
And to your point again, it's like, test it against this. This is why I love this drill here. Okay, I'm gonna do a little shift here.
Okay.
And what I like, Dennis, with my little shift, and hopefully we'll get a good gears of this, is that hub location. Like for me, I can really cue in on shirt buttons and
Yep.
belt buckle, at or just slightly forward
Yeah.
in the early part of the downswing.
And like I have what I would call two swings. Right? I have my money swing is what I call it, right?
Okay.
It would be just a little bit more forward, not much shifting.
Yep.
I just want to hit this thing a little flatter.
It's called money why?
Why? Because I can control the distance better.
Because it's money.
Yeah.
And then what's the
Less
second
moving
one?
parts. The second part is if I need to really ramp one up like 200 yards,
Yeah.
I'm going to give myself a little shift, but then I'm going to know that my cone and my dispersion might get a little wider.
And
So it depends what I'm going to look for.
if
If I
the
want to
players-
attack a flag, I'm not going to get that shifty. I won't.
Yeah. I think like a lot of things, that's like, it depends on where the player's at.
Yes.
Like it's hard to do general
And what are you
things.
trying to do?
Yeah, what's your goal with it?
Absolutely.
But it's okay to have the weight more forward.
Absolutely it is.
Have we said that enough? It's
Okay,
to have the weight
hopefully
forward.
we'll-
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Well, maybe it'll
Some people need a
sink
hug
in.
and like it's okay, it's okay, okay. So that's the number one fundamental. That's the cheapest golf lesson. Spent 7 cents. Dennis just got my contact really good, so that's much less expensive than our normal. But if you do have more money you want to pay, Gears, Dennis, Texas, Fort Worth, Dallas, CogornoGolf.com. We'll put that on the screen. Thank you guys for watching. Dennis, thanks, buddy.
Awesome.